All right, welcome back. We're going to finish up 6.3 and hence the entire chapter 6. And we're finally going to get to our geometric random variables. Now, a geometric setting arises when we perform independent trials of the same chance process and record the number of trials it takes to get one success. How long does it keep doing it until you get it? So on each trial, the probability P of success must be the same. So they got to be independent, right? And we're just going to see how long it takes to get there. Could be a really large number. You never know. Now again, the number of trials y that it takes to get a success is called the geometric random variable. The probability of that is a geometric distribution with probability p of success on any trial. Now again, the possible values are 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. You know, big as, yeah, it could be really big. All right, so the way that you can find this probability is to take your probability of failure, right, the 1 minus p, take that to the k minus 1, and then multiply that by p. That's how you're going to find the geometric probability. So the probability of success there. So basically what you're saying is, okay, I've had all these failures. Okay, if I got it on the 7th one, that means I had 6 failures and 1 success. You're always going to have 1 success. Because that's when you stop, obviously, is what happens. So that formula makes sense. So Mr. Local's class decides to play the Lucky Duck, Lucky Day game. A student will be selected at random from your class and asked to pick a day of the week. For example, Thursday. Your teacher will then use technology to randomly choose a day of the week as the lucky day. If the student picks the correct day, class will only have 1 homework problem. If the student picks the wrong day, your teacher will select another student from the class at random and repeat the process. The game continues until a student correctly picks the lucky day. Now, y is the number of homework problems that the class receives. Now, what's the probability that the class receives exactly 10 homework problems? Now, again, this is a typo that we have here. Sorry about that. That's what the slides came with. But again, what we would do if it's exactly 10, we'd want to take the probability of failure. So you have a 1 out of 7 chance of picking it. So we're going to go 6/7. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise that to the 9th power. And then multiply that by, of course, 1/7, and then that would be the probability of exactly 10 homework problems. Okay, sorry about the typo there. Now, how would you find the probability of getting less than 10? Okay, so what we'd have to do there is find the probability of 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9. Now remember, our probabilities that we'd have here are 1/7 because you got it on the first one. For the second one, you'd have 1 failure and 1 success. For 3, it would be 2 failures, 3 success, so on and so forth. And if you calculate all those, we would say, hey, there's a 75% chance that we're going to get fewer than 10 homework problems by playing this game. Now, again, if we're using the calculator, remember as we go in here, look for it's like geometry PDF. That's if it's an exact one, kind of like what we did with binomial, right? Except this time we're looking for geometric. By hitting the second bars. And then, of course, if you want to add them up, like if you're going less than 10, so then go accumulate them up to 9, just use the CDF, the geometry CDF, as opposed to the PDF. P is for the exact one, P. C is for the cumulative one. So the calculator is very handy, as we've found many, many times here. All right, so let's try this. A table and histogram show part of the probability distribution. Now, we can't show the entire distribution because obviously it could go on and on forever and ever. It could be a very large number, right? I mean, eventually you're going to get it, but that's what we have here. All right, so we're going to talk about this. It's going to be skewed to the right. So every geometric distribution is going to be, because you know your probabilities they're reducing here, or the number of picks, less and less is going to take out this time, but likely you're going to get up here somewhere. So we're going to be looking at skewed right for that. Now, if we calculate the mean here, we would find that the mean is 7 and that the standard deviation is 6.48. Okay, so again, talking about interpreting what those values mean is what we're concerned about. Let's show you how to find those mean and standard deviations. Now, again, to find the mean of a geometric random variable, the expected value, we're just going to take whatever the probability is of success, and we're going to do the reciprocal. So if your probability of success is 1/7, well, then it's going to take you, as expected, it's going to take you 7 days. Just flip it. It's a pretty easy formula. Standard deviation, you're just going to take your probability of failure, take the square root of it, divide it by your probability of success is what you're going to do there. All right, so once again, here we go. We have that draw a 3, get it free lunch promotion, remember from the other day. So we want to know if the chosen card is a 3, the customer gets the order for free. Otherwise, the customer must pay the bill. So X is the number of customers it takes to get the first free order. So calculate and interpret the meaning of X. So what we do is, well, 4 out of 52 is our probability. If we do the reciprocal of it, 52 divided by 4, it should take us on average 13 times. All right, so that's the average. Now again, the standard deviation, again, what we're going to do is take the probability of failure, so that's going to be the 48 out of 52. Let's take the square root of it, divide it by the probability of success, 4 out of 52, and yeah, 12.49. So again, what that means is that if this restaurant runs a lunch promotion on many days, number of customers it gets to get the first free order would typically vary by about 12.5 from the mean of 13. That's what we have. So those are the formulas that we have, and that wraps up chapter 6.3 and the whole chapter 6. So we'll start the review process. And again, make sure you go through these learning targets, do those exercises. They are absolutely invaluable. And until next time, I'm Mr. Bone.